And out away, a strike away from a National League West championship. Got to have it. The changeup is grounded on the right side. The dive by Barfield on the grass. Throws, took him off the bag to throw to second base. Safe at second base on the throw by Gonzalez.
This was the last time the San Diego Padres made the playoffs. Now you're probably asking, how did they clinch the playoffs if the runner was called safe? Well, the garbage umpires changed the call, this time in our favor, and of course the Diamondbacks were super mad, but they called him out and the Padres clinched the NL West. Now this was 2006, 14 years ago. But if you're watching this right now, that means the Padres just clinched the playoff for the first time since 2006. Now hold your horses because there isn't a reason to celebrate yet. Because back in 2006, what happened? The Padres got knocked out in the first round by the St. Louis Cardinals. Dave Roberts hit this little dinker to first base and yeah, the Padres season was over. Now you might be thinking, this year's Padres are not the Padres of old. This is a new era, a new dynasty. We're here to win. We're here to win championships back to back to back to back to back to back. And maybe you're right. But we have to remember that the 2006 Padres were no scrubs. They had this three-headed monster of Jake Peavy, Chris Young, and Trevor Hoffman. In case you can't remember, these guys were elite. But of course, the Padres have a three-headed monster of their own this season in Fernando Tatis, Manny Machado, and my boy Wil Myers. If you look at certain statistics, all three of these hitters are top 10 hitters in the MLB right now. Like if you were to look at extra base hits, Myers is 3rd, Tatis is 4th, and Machado 7th. But if you haven't noticed already, the 2006 Padres and the 2020 Padres, slightly different. Maybe very different. The 2006 three-headed monster that I named were all pitchers, and the current year's three-headed monster are all hitters. If you look at the stats, back in 2006, the Padres were 27th in runs per game, but they allowed the second least amount of runs per game as well. So they were clearly a dominant pitching team. The 2020 Padres, on the other hand, are very different. They're second in runs per game, and they allow the 7th fewest runs per game, so they're definitely not scrubs at pitching, but again, it's not second place. So clearly 2006 was much more pitching and defense oriented, and 2020 is a lot more hitting oriented. So does that mean we have a chance this season? Are the Padres of 2020 better than their counterparts in 2006? Hell yeah. Let me show you the statistics. Now, I compiled a list of the past 10 World Series champions, and I looked at their runs per game and runs allowed per game. And I saw how they compared to the rest of the league during that season. Now, I color coordinated this for you guys because it looks a lot cooler, and it's really easy to understand. The green numbers are if you finished in the top 5 teams per your category. The yellow numbers are if you finished between 6th and 10th, and anything below 10th you received a red number. So red is bad, green is good, yellow is mediocre. Right off the bat, you can tell that there are a lot more green numbers in runs per game. So this might lead you to think that runs per game matters more. If you don't understand the logic yet, it's pretty simple. If every season the World Series champion finishes first place in runs per game, it would make sense to invest more heavily in offense than on defense or pitching. So when we look at the averages of where these teams placed in each category, a higher number simply means a higher correlation. The average World Series champion in the past 10 seasons placed 6.5th, if that's a word, in runs per game. Whereas in runs allowed per game, they finished 7.9. So it's a little more important to invest in runs per game, albeit not that much. Now, if you're a doubter, if you doubt that this significance is big enough, I agree with you. 6.5th, 7.9th, that difference is pretty small. But I think there is a stat that might produce better results. What about run differential? What about runs per game minus runs allowed per game? Now this seems to make sense. If you're winning by more runs per game, you're either the better team or you just win more consistently, which makes you the better team as well. So what was the average place of past World Series champions with regards to run differential? 5.1st, or is it 5.1th? Leave a comment below. I want to know which one you guys think is more grammatically correct. Anyways, this is a much higher correlation than runs per game and runs allowed per game. Clearly, run differential matters a lot more than runs per game or runs allowed per game. So this brings us back to our original question. How do the 2006 Padres compare to the 2020 Padres? Well, the 2020 Padres are way better. The 2020 Padres right now are third in run differential, whereas the 2006 Padres they finished ninth. This is why the Padres have a chance, keyword chance, at winning the World Series in 2020. That is, unless Dave Roberts manages to screw us over again. See guys, I'm not always a Padres hater.